Hello everybody and welcome to another Vintage Fans and More product spotlight, sponsored for the first time by Kuzco. Last year, Kuzco and their sister brand subset Allura Mood burst onto the fan scene with an initial introduction of signature designs. As a big enthusiast of all Kuzco group products, and having used their lighting in my own projects before, this launch immediately had my attention. I've always felt that this company had the potential to bring something special to the ceiling fan category if they ever ventured in that direction, and now we're seeing those possibilities become a reality. For this year, the Kuzco line is back at it with a brand new lineup of Bond-enabled smart models, available in designs that further level out the product offering and deliver some popular essential looks. Today I've been provided with the 60-inch Coronado, a fan that universally delivers some of the very best that Kuzco has to offer. Let's dive in with the details for this fan, and we'll visit some additional commonalities of Kuzco's fan line along the way. The Coronado fan family is actually available in two configurations, a 56-inch 4-blade model, as well as the 60-inch 6-blade model that we'll be focusing on for this feature. Both sizes are available in either a white finish or the matte black that I'm showing on my display fan. Damp rating allows these finishes to be installed in a covered application outdoors or anywhere indoors, and we'll get into more of the overall functionality soon, but I think this fan stacks up as one of the best in size category fans for outdoor use that I've brought in to date. Inside the fan is one of the heftiest DC motors I've ever worked with. It's got a very nice weight to it and is pretty large as far as DC motors go. With 6 blades and a strong 36-degree blade pitch, such a heavy-duty motor truly backs up the performance. High speed maxes out at 7,939 cubic feet of air per minute, while the Energy Guide average airflow is listed at 5,463 cubic feet per minute. These numbers are truly on the leading end of the 60-inch size category. This fan is an absolute beast that maximizes airflow in every regard. Integrated with the fan is a dimmable LED light kit, with a color temperature of 3000 Kelvin, 1900 delivered lumens, and a CRI of 90, it's a light that delivers a good universal experience. The Coronado does not have a no light option, so the lighting is a necessary component of the end design. I personally think Kuzco is playing their lighting features very middle ground for the time being, while they gather feedback about what their customer base is looking for out of the products. I'd like to see an even better dimming range, as well as CCT Select or Warm Dim implemented for an overall elevated LED experience. Kuzco has continued to build a reputation on cutting-edge LED lighting, so there's a ton of room to see more of the very best features implemented into the fans as they expand the line. Included with the Coronado is a handheld remote control which offers 6 fan speeds, all light kit controls, reverse, timer settings, and the breeze mode, which modulates the speed to mimic a natural outdoor breeze. A mounting cradle for convenient storage also comes standard. Kuzco does not yet offer an in-wall control option, something else I think would be a worthy addition, because sometimes you really do just need a wall switch, and I often hear of people who don't really like handheld remotes because they can get lost in the shuffle of a busy household, so a fastened control location would be preferred. All that considered, I do love the remote controls they've done for the Smart Fan launch. As someone who doesn't typically experience lost remote syndrome, I've actually enjoyed a lot of the smaller profile handheld controls coming out in recent years, and they do have their own advantages, but there's something about the larger size and layout of this remote that I also like a lot. Sometimes the small remotes can be a bit cumbersome to use, being a bit harder to hold onto, and with many buttons all smashed together to be as compact as possible. On the opposite end of the spectrum, this control feels particularly nice in the hand, and the buttons are spread out while still being easy to navigate and operate. It would be at least a little harder to lose track of if that's a problem in your household, and the overall function and layout matches up just the same to the best options out there. Up and down buttons like these for the light control are excellent. You can always tell when you reach full brightness or lowest dimming. Most of all, I like when manufacturers invest in some diversification with the styling of their controls. Some of the same basic run-of-the-mill components have been used over and over with varying manufacturer logos simply printed on the front, which works just fine functionally and is far from being the most impactful detail, but I work with a lot of products which can get a little stale, and I will award bonus points anytime I get to experience something different. Physical controls aside, let's not forget that the Coronado is a smart fan. Kuzco has partnered with Smart by Bond for their integrated smart fans, which I'm a big fan of. Bond allows different fan brands and products to come together in one user interface, rather than a brand-specific app. There are positives on each side of that coin, but I do like the wide accessibility that Bond offers across the board. Through the app, you can control all of the basic settings, as well as set schedules, control multiple products in groups, or access control via virtual assistants. I've covered a little bit on Smart by Bond in a couple of other video features, and they do offer a great overall experience that I've been happy with in the smart product realm. I also want to throw in that Kuzco's accessory parts range for fans is pretty slim, which may sound like a bad thing, but I actually prefer when accessories are limited to the absolute essentials to minimize confusion and extra pieces on orders. This fan comes with a 6-inch down rod standard, but they do have the full suite of extension rods and sloped ceiling adapters available to ensure the entire product line works with a variety of installation scenarios. The necessary accessories to see from any brand that wants to be taken seriously in the ceiling fan category. I've put the fan on low speed with the light on and dimmed down while I cover some more in-depth details that I've picked out about this fan and the line as a whole. First and foremost, Kuzco is a design leader, and frankly, they trailblaze a lot of ground in terms of design. The fan selection is no exception. They've managed to create looks that feel accessible and cover a range of styles without playing anything too safe. The Coronado is truly a sculptural work of art. It feels at once very minimal when matched with the monochromatic finishes, but holds such immense presence with all the blade detailing. Speaking of the finishes, I've fallen in love with the matte black that Kuzco has used for this fan, especially on the metal components. It's very unique, matte to the highest extent, almost more like a charcoal texture. Despite this, it's incredibly resilient. I was afraid it would get all scratched up just during typical installation, and while marks did appear from bits of dust and friction of parts rubbing together, they all wiped away with a soft cloth once installation was complete. It's also a very cohesive finish transition with the blade material, which is not always easy to accomplish. This all just speaks to the overarching superb quality of the finishes and components. Aspects like a real glass lens and incredibly clean blade molding step it above the average. I am also particularly impressed with the implemented mounting hardware and canopy system. As I work with exponentially more brands and products, this is a detail I've become increasingly aware of in registering what I do and do not like for a seamless installation. I try to keep my display products in as like-new condition as possible, and the true test of that is whether or not I can wind up the entire length of lead wire and fit it inside the canopy to avoid any trimming. With most designs that use a receiver control inside the canopy, as the Coronado does, there's usually just not enough space and I end up trimming the wires, because getting the canopy in place becomes overly difficult, not worth the extra time and frustration. Not the case with the Coronado. The squared shape of the mounting bracket allows the wiring to wrap around without slipping down, and with the mounting bracket not using up an abundance of space inside, the canopy has ample room to contain everything without having to be massively oversized or bulky looking. It's not an overtly large canopy, yet there's still a lot of working room inside, which is a really nice balance of form and function. This example of why I like it is an extremely niche scenario, really just a me thing for my own purposes. Still, I find that this detail does usually set apart the very best mounting systems from the ones that are merely average. If I can seamlessly fit all of that extra wire inside, any regular installer properly trimming the wires to length shouldn't encounter much issue or frustration with the amount of canopy space. This system even has an aligning pin to keep the canopy in place while tightening the screws, which I found to be a nice touch, and I love the fuss-free magnetic screw cover that simply sticks into place. Talk about a nice user experience. Kuzco is getting high marks in that regard, and they're truly doing it right. We're going to move up to high speed, and I'm going to keep it brief because the airflow gets a little crazy, but that's exactly what I want to focus on. When I alluded to the idea that this fan would be a superb choice for your outdoor covered deck or patio area, this performance is why. Thanks to the upsweep and curved tip of the blades, this fan provides area coverage for days. It throws air literally everywhere, underneath and out to the sides. Truly some of the best overall dispersion I've experienced out of the many new products I've worked with. Wherever you mount this fan, you're going to feel airflow all throughout the space. And even outdoors, it'll be strong enough to register regardless of physical positioning or relative proximity to the fan. Obviously, there is a distance limitation at a certain point, but in my experience, it's not incredibly common to feel this level of dispersion out of products in the residential to light commercial category. Definitely a characteristic I'd expect more out of a curved blade industrial style fan. It's very impressive, a highly respectable performance profile, and a great showing for the brand's early introductions. Great design matters, but performance is where the best pull away from the rest, and this fan is on another level in that regard. Kuzco has entered the ceiling fan space with a strong first impression. From the initial launch of products to the latest smart introductions, there's already a solid lineup of fans that offer a range of design and performance options. Over the past several years, we've watched a few major players in the lighting world venture into the fan market through a variety of scenarios, and in my time working with several such product lines, I've learned that it's never a particularly easy road. There are always hiccups, and it's harder than you would think to get traction and translate the success of a lighting line into another product category. This is why I love to play my small part in these product launches and getting some of the chatter started so that more people know about the latest and greatest things available. So far, Kuzco is making it look pretty seamless, and it's been an incredibly solid first experience with their fans. Massive thanks to Kuzco for partnering with me and making this video possible. I've posted their social links in the description. Get down there and follow for more daily product inspiration across their pages. They offer some of the best feeds of anyone in the lighting world. My links are also below. Be sure to check out my Instagram stories or highlights if you're watching later for more of the Coronado. And stay tuned to my TikTok for more exclusive content with Kuzco coming soon. Subscribe and ring the notification bell here on YouTube before you leave to get updates for all of my new videos. I still have more great new products coming up this year. Thank you all for watching today, and I will see you next time.